Stanley Druckenmiller, is the former chairman and president of Duquesne Capital, which he founded in 1981. He closed the fund in August 2010, at which time it had over $12 billion in assets. From 1988 to 2000, he managed money for George Soros as the lead portfolio manager for Quantum Fund. In 1988, Druckenmiller was hired by George Soros to replace Victor Niederhofer at Quantum Fund. He and Soros famously broke the Bank of England when they shorted British pound sterling in 1992, reputedly making more than $1 billion in profits in an event known as Black Wednesday. They calculated that the Bank of England did not have enough foreign currency reserves with which to buy enough sterling to prop up the currency, and that raising interest rates would be politically unsustainable.
Druckenmiller excelled in college. He becomes a PhD candidate for economics at University of Michigan. But he quickly finds his coursework too theoretical and impractical.
I took economics just so I could read the paper intelligently. I went to get a PhD in economics, and I went there and I said, these people are crazy. They're trying to shove the economy into a math formula. It doesn't make any sense.
We have to be honest with ourselves that a lot of math has crept in for purposes of intimidation, to make cryptic, which is otherwise simple, and to create a kind of interference competition where the field could be restricted to a smaller number of players. So I think that there's a tremendous amount of abuse of mathematics.
Druckenmiller realizes the PhD program isn't going to teach him how to make money. The only way to become rich is by actually playing the game of market. He leaves the PhD program and becomes a stock analyst for Pittsburgh National Bank. At PNC, Stanley Druckenmiller learns the art of chart reading, also known as technical analysis.
Technical analysis is the analysis of stock prices, or maybe other speculative asset prices, by looking at charts of the prices and looking for patterns that suggest movements in prices.
Although most investors disregard technical chart patterns as useless, Druckenmiller believes there is always a practical explanation behind them. As a practitioner, Druckenmiller will use any technique as long as it makes him money. He quickly masters the skill of stock predictions by combining fundamental factors such as earning, industry capacity, with technical analysis.
I like multidisciplines in managing money. So my first boss taught me technical analysis. So I use fundamental analysis and technical analysis.
His career takes off. At 25, he becomes the youngest head of equity research for the bank.
I worked for a very eccentric, brilliant investor who made me at the age of 25, this was 1978, director of research, which was basically the number 2 position in the investment division of the bank. And I was a little confused. Also, I was a little cocky and arrogant. I was 25 years old. So when I walked in, he said to me, do you know the reason I'm promoting you above all these people? I said, no. He said, for the same reason they send 18-year-olds to work. You're too stupid and young to know not to charge.
Although Stanley Druckenmiller left Soros in 2000 after taking large losses in technology stocks, since then he has concentrated full-time on Duquesne Capital. Still, his biggest investments are Microsoft and Amazon. In 2020, in October 2024, Druckenmiller, alongside Greg Coffey, invested in an AI company Reflexivity in their most recent round to raise $30 million. Druckenmiller has long been a supporter of AI. He bought the Nvidia stock in the fourth quarter of 2022, enjoying a gain of around 700%. Aside from Amazon, Druckenmiller also previously held Palantir Technologies. Before selling his entire stake in the first quarter of 2025, he did not reveal his reasons. But it is suspected to be similar to the Nvidia divestment Palantir's. Lofty valuation at 237 times estimated forward earnings is believed to be the main factor. Meanwhile, he increased his stake in Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing TSM, a company with close business ties to Nvidia, by 457% to 598,780 shares in the first quarter of 2025.